Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text number 54 onwards. Arjuna Uvacha Sthita Pragyasya Ka Bhasha Samadhisthasya Keshava Sthitadihi Kim Prabhasheta Kimasita Vrajeta Kim. Arjuna said, O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? How does he speak? And what is his language? How does he sit? And how does he walk? So in the previous verse, Krishna has explained the ultimate benefit of engaging in God's service, that we shall develop a truly divine consciousness. Now the symptom of a person who has developed such a consciousness is that he becomes humble. Humility is the king of all divine qualities. And therefore such a person will not go around telling everyone or posting on social media, mentioning finally attained divine consciousness, clicking a selfie and posting it with a smiley, tagging his friends along. So he will be humble. So Arjuna is asking Krishna, how do we recognize such a person in this society? What are his symptoms? How does he walk? How does he sit? Means how does he control his senses? How does he respond to difficult situations in life? How does he engage his senses? So Arjuna is asking this for two reasons. Number one, he wants to hear about the symptoms so that he could himself know whether he was in that divine consciousness, whether he was himself that evolved. And secondly, he was thinking if he sees such a person, he would like to associate with this personality, because we are what we associate with. And even if Arjuna is thinking I'm lacking this consciousness, by associating with him, I can also try and develop similar consciousness. Now this is the hallmark quality of a truly evolved soul. They never think that they have learned enough, they have evolved enough. They always think they lack something that they need to learn, and therefore they always keep growing. As soon as we think that we know everything, we stop growing. Stagnation, the water which doesn't move, there's no movement in the water, gets contaminated. So similarly with our life as well, we should always remain in this consciousness that I need guidance, I need to know more, I don't know everything, I'm not the center of the universe, I need superior guidance. So from text number 55 to 72, Krishna answers this one question of Arjuna. And basically he mentions three symptoms of such a person who is in divine consciousness by which we can recognize him in this world. Number one, such a person becomes totally free from the desires for personal sense gratification. All his desires are geared towards the pleasure of the Lord, and he doesn't engage in any activity that could be displeasing to the Lord. His pleasure is always in the mind of such an individual. Secondly, such a person becomes totally free or unaffected or immune to the dualities of life. He does not get affected by happiness, distress, honor, dishonor, praise, criticism, profit, loss. He remains equiposed in all situations. And number three, such a person has his senses completely under control. He can engage them at will and he can withdraw them at will. He is not controlled by the sense objects in this world. So this is just a brief summary of what is Krishna going to speak, and now we can go through the verses. Text 55. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Prajahati Yada Kaman Sarvan Partha Manogatan Atmani Evatmana Tushtaha Sthita Pragyastadocchite. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind, thus purified, finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness. A person who develops a divine consciousness, he feels so satisfied within that he doesn't have to look for satisfaction in other things of this world. So he finds satisfaction in the self alone, and therefore he is not hankering for something, he is not lamenting when he doesn't get something. All his desires are in union with the Lord, and therefore he is completely happy. And every desire is in line with the Lord's desire, so therefore by the grace of the Lord he always remains completely satisfied in this world. He does not have any desire for personal sense gratification. Rather, such a person is more worried about satisfying the senses of the Lord, working in a consciousness, engaging in actions that will please the Lord, speaking those words that will be pleasing to the Lord. Such a person is in divine consciousness. जैसा कहते हैं ना, भगवान से डरो. When a person is conscious of God, then he naturally does not indulge in anything which could be selfish or which you could implicate him in the laws of karma, because his pleasure, his presence is always in his mind. Such a person is in divine consciousness. Now text 56 and 57, they have the same theme, that is freedom from duality of such a person. Yah sarvatrana bhishnehas tat tat prapya shubha shubham na bhinandati na tveshti tasya pragya pratishtita. In the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising it nor despising it, is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. And 56 is Dukkheshva anudvigna manaha sukheshu vigata spriha vitaraga bhaya krodha stitadhir muniruchyate. One who is not disturbed in mind even amidst the threefold miseries, or elated when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear and anger, is called a sage of steady mind. So these two verses, 56 and 57. How a person in divine consciousness is unaffected by the apparent changes that keep taking place in this world. He remains calm, peaceful, and doesn't react unnecessarily. Now, starting from text number 58, Krishna is going to emphasize the third symptom of such a person, and primarily sense control. And sense control is so important because we get entangled in this world because our senses are engaging in wrong things. They are wrongly engaged. And it's only due to the activities of senses in an inappropriate way that the soul has to keep transmigrating from one species to the other, from one universe to the other, life after life after life, and thus implicate us in the laws of karma. Yada samharate chayam kurmo angani va sarvashah indriyani indriyarthebhyas tasya pragya pratishtita. One who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects, as the tortoise draws its limbs within the shell, is firmly fixed in perfect consciousness. So he compares such a person to a tortoise. We have seen a tortoise, whenever it senses a danger, withdraws its limbs. And when the danger is gone, the tortoise can bring out the limbs again. So a person in divine consciousness controls his senses like that. Wherever it's not required, he just withdraws the senses. Senses do not control him, he controls the senses. Like our senses are not in control. Even if we are telling ourselves, okay, I will not eat sweets from today, as soon as we see, at least that temptation is there very strongly, and then sometimes if it happens too often, we end up eating it, right? We want to get up early, but there is the senses, oh, we want to sleep longer. So like that, our eyes are wanting to see some sense objects, ears want to hear some nice music, tongue wants to taste something nice, skin wants to touch something nice, nose wants to smell something nice. So wherever we see any of the sense objects, we keep running. So we are being controlled by the senses, and that's how we get implicated, and we are not able to focus on higher things in life. But a person who engages in the Lord's service, beginning with hearing about him, chanting his names, etc., he develops divine consciousness, and sense control is a part of that package. And therefore he controls the senses, he is not controlled by them. But how is he able to accomplish this? It is spoken in the next verse, text 59. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinah rasavarajam rasopiyasya param drishtva nivartate. Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense enjoyment remains. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness. So how is a person in divine consciousness able to so easily control the senses? Because of experiencing a higher taste. How does that higher taste come? By engaging the senses in the Lord's service. How do we do that? We'll discuss that. So suppose there is a naughty child and it's his nature to be naughty. So we can tell him, stop doing this, sit in one corner. Now he may do it for some time, but it is his nature. As soon as we are gone, he will do it all the more. So simply by telling him not to do something, he won't stop doing it. It is just a restriction. So similarly, Krishna says the senses may be restricted from sense enjoyment, but the taste for sense enjoyment doesn't go away. As soon as there is conducive environment, favorable environment, senses will indulge in sense gratification. Eyes will look at things which we are not supposed to do. Tongue wants to taste something which is forbidden. Ears want to hear something which is implicating. So this is not the right way. Instead, if we engage the child in some more positive activity, because the child needs engagement, he is not properly engaged, so he is engaging in something wrong. So then when he has some positive activity, he will not get attracted to other activities. So similarly, senses, they are very strong. If we just keep telling ourselves, I don't have to see this, I shouldn't eat this, I shouldn't hear this, I shouldn't touch this, it may continue for some time, but eventually the senses will give in. So therefore what we need is superior taste to the senses. And how does that come? We have 5 senses. Eyes. The function of the eyes is to see, and the eyes want to look at beautiful things. So if we every day spend some time, maybe 5-10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever is possible, beholding the beautiful form of the Lord in front of our eyes, we might have a picture of Krishna or any of his incarnations, whichever incarnation of the Lord we are attached to, or Krishna's original form. We can keep a picture. Nowadays we have phones or laptops, we can anyway access, and just beholding the beautiful form starting from his lotus feet. So how should we take darshan of the Lord? Whether we are standing in front of him in the temple or we are looking at his image, our darshan to start from the lotus feet and gradually go upwards towards the face, noticing each and every detail. What is he wearing? What kind of jewelry is on his body? How is he smiling? How his delicate fingers are holding on to a flute? How is wearing beautiful earrings? He has curly black hair, wearing yellow dhoti, a beautiful kaustubh gem around his neck, and standing in his threefold bending form. So that way we have to absorb our mind, our eyes, for some time every day, taking exclusively this time out to let our eyes drink the beauty of the Lord. And that way the sense of seeing, the eyes become purified and they gain a higher taste. Then automatically we lose that taste for seeing the lower things of this world which are implicating. Ears, the function of the ears is to hear. We want to hear so many things. Most of the times they are mundane, criticism, fault finding. There is so much happening. We are so much exposed to social media, news, murder, negative thing. So the ears must be engaged regularly in hearing the divine name, fame, qualities, pastimes, or message of the Lord from scriptures like Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, or Bhagavatam. This way the sense of hearing gets purified. Then we lose taste for hearing small or mundane stuff of this world, and we are not attracted to that kind of environment. The function of the nose is to the sense of smell, to smell. So if we smell the fragrance offered to the Lord, it could be ether, it could be flower, it could be incense, it could be tulsi, and every day we could offer something, or if it is offered in some temple, just take it and smell it. That way the sense of smell gets purified. The sense of touch, it should be used to clean the temple of the Lord, touch things which have been offered to the Lord, touch things which are sacred to the Lord, scriptures, or touching the bodies of devotees, associating with them, or cooking for the Lord. That way our sense of touch gets purified. And the yeah, so I think we are done with the 5 senses. Eyes, by beholding the beautiful form of the Lord. Okay, tongue is remaining. The function of the tongue is twofold: to taste and to vibrate. So by vibrating the Lord's holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. If you could recite the names of the Lord like this every day, taking some time exclusively, and tasting the food which is offered to the Lord every day. Now if we think we can't offer anything to the Lord because we have onion garlic being cooked or other kinds of forbidden stuff, so at least offer something. You could offer some sweets or some nuts, fruit, milk. Any of these things could be offered, and that can be eaten every day, at least little bit. So we are getting some prasad. Prasad literally means mercy. So that way our sense of taste gets purified by chanting the Lord's names and eating food which is offered to Him. And if we engage our senses every day for some time, then gradually our senses will acquire such higher taste that will be totally unaffected by the lower tastes of this world, and the senses will be easy to control. The senses will be under our control, not that we are under their control. And if we can engage the senses rightly, it can open the doors to liberation, to the perfection of life. So I personally feel every day we should have at least 1.5 hour especially dedicated for our spiritual welfare. And if we can use our senses like this, chanting His names, hearing about Him, remembering Him, offering worship, offering prasad or eating it, offering some flower, tulsi. It's not very difficult. We should offer some tulsi or flower every day, fragrance, or some incense. And these things, however outdated they might seem because of so much degradation that has taken place by forgetting our culture, but these are the things which will bring genuine peace into our life, genuine satisfaction, and that's what we want. The proof of pudding is in eating. So even if we do not believe such things, at least let's try. Don't reject things blindly. Accepting things blindly is bad, but equally bad is blind rejection. So let us try it in our life and then see the magic that manifests. If it doesn't work, we can always give it up. But we should definitely take some 1.5 hour dedicated for our spiritual welfare, chanting His names, hearing about Him, these 2 activities primarily, and other things which we just discussed, engaging the senses primarily in the Lord's service, will help us rise above the dualities, help us rise above the sense gratificatory processes, activities which bind the soul to karmic reactions and thus save us from future suffering. And now Krishna will speak few verses about how important is sense control. We can discuss one in this podcast. Text 60. Yatato hi api kaunteya purushasya vipaschitah indriyani pramadhini haranti prashabham manah. The senses are so strong and impetuous, O Arjuna, that they forcibly carry away the mind even of a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them. So Krishna is agreeing. Yes, but it is not easy to control the senses. He is agreeing. He is the Supreme Lord, and He is saying that it is difficult, that even when somebody is trying to control them, they forcibly carry away the mind of a man of discrimination also. So it's very difficult but not impossible. And therefore He has spoken in the previous verse, what we should do is try to engage our senses in some higher activities so they attain some higher taste. Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asit matparaha vashehi yasyendriyani tasya pragya pratishtita. So a person like this, one who restrains his senses, keeping them under full control, and fixes his consciousness upon me, is a man of steady intelligence. So what we need to do is try to control our senses by engaging them in the activities which we just discussed, for the eyes, the ears, the tongue, the sense of touch and the smell. And simultaneously we also have to fix consciousness on the Supreme Lord. Simply trying to withdraw the senses from sense objects and trying to do things mechanically will not help. We have to also think of the Lord while we are engaged in these activities, and that way our intelligence will become steady. And function of the intelligence is to develop the power of discrimination so that we can take the right decisions in life. So we discussed today, Arjuna is asking about the symptoms of a person who has attained divine consciousness by his service to the Supreme Lord. First symptom, he becomes free from the desires for personal sense gratification. Second, he becomes free from the dualities of life. He is unaffected in all situations. Third, he develops complete control over his senses by experiencing a higher taste. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.